Okay, this is for all you orphans out there. So, if you know any orphans, go get them right now, or any ginger kids, because we're reading Gus Goes to School. This is my good deed to read to orphans and gingers and or feminists or actually anyone that has a stigmatism. You go and get them because this is for you guys. Hopefully, this will solve your social problems and everything will be great. I think the answer lies in this book. New Jersey Children's Book Writer of the Year, and pictures by Joyce Audi dos Santos. Original title: Gus was a real dumb ghost. Wow. So this is actually an edit. So that means that there's a more rare version of this that's called Gus was a real dumb ghost that's probably worth money on eBay. But this one ain't worth shit because it's the regular one that they made thousands of. So you know what? Let's see. Oh, sorry, this light. Okay, guys. I hope this is a good enough for you guys, you little brats. I'm doing my best with the lighting, okay? Gus goes to school. Is that a mouse? One day, Gus the ghost said, I've had a lot of adventures. I think my ghost friends would like to read about them. He sat down at his ghostly typewriter and told Cora the cat and Mouse the mouse to be quiet. He began, I am a ghost, but you misspelled ghost, and Mouse was delighted. He had heard about the delicious food in the school lunchroom from his mouse friends. Cora stayed home to catch up on her sleep. Gus went to first grade. He asked Miss Flower, the teacher, how to spell ghost, but she couldn't hear ghostly language. He looked in the books, but he couldn't find ghost. He sat down in a back seat and clinked a small drink to cheer himself up. Miss Flower heard the small clink, so she knew a ghost was there. We have a ghost in the class, she said. That ghost will have to pay attention and do his homework like everyone else. So, obviously, the house mouse fat cat. Obviously, this is a science teacher, and she's taught these kids that God's not real. So good for her. So they don't believe in ghosts and pseudoscience. So, and she's just making a funny joke about ghosts. She gave the class words to learn, such as if, and but. Ghost is the only word I want to spell. Gus thought he didn't do his homework, and he didn't always pay attention. The only thing he liked about school were recess and lunchtime. At recess, he played ball with his ghostly ball, and sometimes he jumped rope. At lunchtime, he went to see Mouse in the lunchroom. Mouse had a happy home under the sink, and 9 meals a day, with mashed potato on Monday. Promotion time came. Miss Flower said, that ghost hasn't done much work, but maybe he's a slow starter. I'll promote him. And then as Gus hopped the second grade teacher, no, Gus hoped that the second grade teacher, Miss Hardy, wouldn't know he was there and gave him work to do. So he laid his equipment down quickly, but Mouse came along, taking his exercise before lunch, and stubbed his tiny toe on a clinker, which went clink. Miss Howdy knew about Gus and told him to do his homework. Gus didn't do his homework. All he wanted to do was spell ghost. Why should he bother with such words as yesterday and today? He began to be bored. He hated school. He hated horrible Hardy. Finally, waiting to find out how ghost was spelled, he thought up some pranks to pass the time. First, he cut Mouse into Horrible Hardy's desk drawer. Horrible opened the drawer and out leapt Mouse, hungry for his mashed potato. Everyone searched until Horrible roared, "Quiet, Gus like that commotion." Then he took his bang cling equipment and marched up and down the halls, banging like thunder and clanking like crazy. Well, this book isn't really written well, I could say that. He took a drink at the water fountain and squirted water around. And then, just for fun, he rang the fire alarm. Clang! All over the school, the children marched out, teachers marched out, Gus marched out. Fire engines came, sirens screaming. This was more fun than spelling. Then the fire chief said, "False alarm, who did this?" Miss Flower and Miss Hardy had heard bang clings. They whispered, "That ghost." So when the promotion time came again, Horrible Hardy said that Ghost doesn't do his work and he is a troublemaker. He can't go to third grade. Oh no, Gus groaned. It had never occurred to him that he might not be promoted. He was terribly upset. People will say ghosts are real dumb, he thought. My ghost friends will be ashamed of me. I won't learn to spell ghost. And I'll have Horrible again. Well, I'll haunt him. He marched around Horrible Hardy, banging and clanging. But Horrible Hardy was used to the noisy children, so he didn't mind noisy ghosts. I'll drop out of school, Gus threatened. But he knew he would never learn to spell ghost at home. Finally, he calmed down. He gritted his ghostly teeth and he thought, okay, I'll do my homework. One thing I know, I'm going to be promoted next time. So he put his bang clang equipment aside and settled down to do the work. Horrible Hardy gave out. To make sure he'll be promoted next time, he wrote the new words on the blackboard at night. After a while, he even wrote a sentence with his second grade words. Okay. He hoped that the children read what he had written. They would write the answer, but they didn't. They just shouted, "Gus is a ghost." His idea hadn't worked. What a disappointment, but after a while he thought, well, I'm close. What should I do now? He began to think over all the words he had learned to spell, which ones might help him. That night he went to the blackboard and wrote some words. He erased them. He wrote more and erased them and wrote more. Well, some children in this class put down here what Gus is so I can read it. What? The next day, Miss Hardy read what Gus had written. He said, Who can write ghost on the blackboard?" Gus held his breath. But the children couldn't spell ghost either. Ghost was a sixth grade word. Then Miss Hardy said, "We have a ghost in our class, so we should know how to spell ghost." Okay. And the book ends there. Everyone dies because Gus the ghost kills them. The end.